cigarettes, it contains a chemical that relaxes the vasculature in your lungs. So, I mean, but you probably already know that.
I did not know that.
You didn't.
I just like the way it made me feel. I ain't even look into it.
Yeah, it does. So that's why asthmatic people can still be smokers,
Ah.
while the rest of us die on the outside.
Well, we're going to get me together, baby. I always say that secondhand smoke is bad for you. You got to get it firsthand.
Ha! Right.
All right.
I might need another shot. But I don't want to be drunk.
Yeah, don't be drunk. You know,
I
just
won't.
be comfy.
I barely got a taste before.
And look, if you get drunk, I got you. I'm like, yeah, me too, nigga. I told the motherfucker.
Would you?
Be a whole new show.
Would you stop?
I got you.
Oh my gosh. How is this gonna start?
Oh.
We didn't discuss
All right,
that.
so it's gonna be okay. We come around.
Right.
So I am going to start all the recordings, and the thumbnail will be up. It'll be,
Okay.
Tea Time with Tocomamaria, and music will be playing. When you hear me fade the music out, that's your cue to go. And you just, hello, welcome to Tea Time with Tocomamaria.
Okay.
Yeah, it is really what you want to do. Like it's
Oh, that's so scary.
you got this, man.
That's so
Like it's
scary.
really, that's the thing about podcasts. There's no set format. It's not NBC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you can
True.
just own it.
Okay.
Talk to the people, man.
Talk
That
to the
sultry,
people.
sexy, wise wisdom voice that you do.
Right. This is tea time.
And if you get stuck, if I see something, I got you. I'm right here with you. I'm
Okay.
telling you.
So when are you gonna chime in? And
I'm gonna let you talk. If I see a break or if I have something to say, I will. Otherwise, I'll wait for you to bring up an idea and kick it to me. Unless you got stuff that you want me to kick to you, I don't mind doing that either.
I mean, so I'm talking about the. Okay, I know we don't have time for this. All right, come on.
We do because I'm not doing my show tonight. So
Oh, you're not?
the whole block, yeah.
Okay, but still. All right. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, and listen. Just have it fun. No pressure. There's no format. I got you. We're gonna be like we talking on the phone together.
All right. So yes, that means we need to have obviously dialogue. So whatever you think to throw at me, then throw it.
Oh, I got you. I got some relationship-based questions.
Oh.
That's still the theme of today.
Oh yeah, that can be that can be the theme of today. Absolutely.
Only reason
That's
I asked
always
is-
fresh on my mind.
Yeah, well, I'm always down for a freestyle show, but I didn't want to go against any theme that you had set up.
No,
I'm
no.
trying to just follow your format.
No,
So-
we're good. That's good.
Okay, yeah, we're good. So I'm gonna play the music,
Okay.
and then when you hear it fade out, I'll be coming through this curtain in a few seconds. You just start it off. All right.
All right. Oh my gosh. Does the microphone look like it's in a good position? Does the mic look like it's in a good position?
Yeah, it's not in your way, and I can still hear you.
Okay. Good evening, beautiful people. This is Tea Time with Tocomamaria, and I would be your host, Tocomamaria.
Yes.
So, welcome to my first podcast, the first podcast that I'm actually hosting. So, I am hosting it not just by myself, but I've got a fantastic co-host here this evening. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yes. I am Tyrone, a.k.a. Crazy T, a.k.a. Ill Smith, the Fresh Prince of Welfare, a.k.a. Dick Dastardly. I'm all over the place today. And I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, so this is something different. This is different for me. This is new. This is fresh and exciting, and so I just hope that the people enjoy it, which I know they will.
I think so. I'm a fan of you already, man. I like your energy. I like how you speak.
Thank
You
you.
have a great look. People gonna tune in. They're gonna have a reason to tune in.
Well, I hope so. Thank you so much. We're going to keep the vibes what? Positive. Yes. Right. So my podcast is really, it's a lifestyle podcast, right? So that means, what that means is I'm not talking about just one thing. So we'll be talking about things that make up life. I mean, you know, I love hair and makeup, of course.
I have no help with that.
You don't have any hair.
Hair or makeup.
It's okay. It's all right though. That's okay. I love hair and makeup. I love relationships. I love clothes. I love travel. I love all sorts of things. But I love those things all together, you know, all at once. All those things sort of make up my interests, and so I couldn't just pick one thing. I figure, why not just talk to the folks about some of everything every week,
Look,
right?
and don't let the Claire Huxtable fool you, right? She is. We had a few conversations, man. She has lived a few lives, I would say.
A few.
Several lives.
Several. All right. Yep. So, I just want to be here to be a positive beacon for folks, right? Not to tell you how to do things, not to beat my chest about how I do things, but to just share and to hope that people will enjoy what I'm saying and pick up some tips or pick up some healthier ways of living or, you know, existing. Thinking about things.
That's what we need now.
That is what we need. That's what we need. Absolutely what we need. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, give me some positivity.
Right.
Health.
It's a whole lot of stuff, right? But by the same token, I'm still learning and growing. So I think that I'm going to learn and grow with the audience as well. Yeah? Think that's fair to say?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, with that being said, again, this is a lifestyle podcast. We do have a specific topic for today, but I did want to just introduce myself a little bit.
Y'all know her. Y'all get to know her, get to love her. Come on.
Right. So I am a native of Cleveland. Grew up in a suburb of Cleveland. We shall not name the name of said suburb, but native of Cleveland.
She's from Huff, y'all. No, I'm just playing. I don't know. I don't know where she's from.
Spent some years in Southern California. The family moved to Southern California. Spent several years there, and then came back here, finished up high school, and have been here pretty much ever since.
You a C-Town girl. I don't
I'm
care
a
where you been.
C-Town.
I don't care where you been. You want us.
Right. And also I'm a mother.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a wife, but I'm a mother.
Used to be a wife. Hey, that is a coveted title in our community.
Right. All of my children are adults, which is wonderful. It's fantastic.
I bet.
Woo, yes, Lord. Okay, but no, that's a great thing. Love my children. I'm a dog mom too.
Dog mom.
Yeah, I don't know when I got to be that person.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah. I grew up with animals, which, you know, was cool. My family is a family of pet lovers, and I'm not sure if they just had no regard for the fact that I have asthma and allergies, or I don't know. But we always had animals in the house. We always had dogs, we always had cats. But as an adult, I decidedly did not have pets for my children. I just was not about that life. No, wasn't about that life. And then they don't last long enough.
Pets, yeah. No, I'm a fish guy. Like, I need something I can feed and just walk away from.
See.
And just, I don't need no responsibilities.
Commitment. That sounds like.
Is it that?
Could it be?
It could be.
Could it be?
Might be something to it.
Commitment issues?
Don't be psychoanalyzing me on the first episode.
I'll wait till I get my license. No.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway, dog mom of 2 little dogs that my cousin lovingly refers to as cat dogs.
Cat dogs.
Cat dogs.
Why's that?
Because they're little dogs.
Oh, little.
They're little. Like one is a Yorkshire Terrier.
Okay.
He's real fat, but he's short. So he's maybe about a foot long, maybe slightly. Don't laugh.
You got purse dogs.
That's not a. Anyway, purse dog,
It's
cat
a
dog.
Birkin bag dog. It's a big one, but it's still a purse dog.
My other dog is a mix of a poodle and a Yorkshire Terrier.
Okay. So
Yeah.
like a Yoodle?
No, it's a Yorkie poo. That sounds cuter than Yoodle. What the heck
Yorkie
is a
poo?
Yoodle? Yeah, he's a Yorkie poo.
I'm a grown black man. I can't say Yorkie poo.
Yes, you can say Yorkie poo.
Say.
So he's bigger. He's slightly bigger. So he's like a regular small dog, and the other one is a super small dog. But anyway, so yeah, I work in healthcare, and
That's gotta be like the hardest job on earth right now. With the COVID. I know y'all.
Yeah, I mean healthcare as in general, and definitely, giving all the accolades and shout out to healthcare professionals, the doctors, the nurses, the nurse practitioners, the MAs, just all the folks who have helped people, in this last year and a half. It's been super, super tough, and you guys are incredible. I'm part of the support staff, which, we help to keep things moving along so that the doctors can do what they need to do.
Yeah, for real. Oh, we have a phone call.
Oh,
Already.
okay. Phone call. Just a minute. I'm coming.
Caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, this is Tea Time with Tocomamaria, and I am Tocomamaria.
Oh, hello, Tocomamaria. I would like to say welcome to We Up Radio. And I was checking you out. I was just, calling in to say hello.
This is Junebug.
And yeah, man, you ain't supposed to tell everybody.
My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the Honorable Brother Junebug Muhammad.
I was getting to that, brother.
I'm gonna shut up. You go ahead.
Yeah, so I was like to say, I would like to welcome you officially to WeUpRadio.com from Brother Junebug Muhammad.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And also beans and rice to you. And
Hot salami and bacon, my brother.
You have a very salami and chicken too.
See,
But
see, y'all are cutting up.
Well, hey, no, that's dope, man. Thanks for.
Thank you so much for the
welcome our
welcome.
new girl.
I appreciate that.
no problem, man. No problem. I'm looking forward to checking you out more.
Thank
I'm
you.
talking about, I ain't talking about the show.
Oh.
And have a
Hang
good
up this call.
have a good night.
Well, this is the Woke with the Moquos, Brother Junebug Muhammad. Hey, you got anybody you want to shout out while we're here? Oh, make it quick because we gotta go. Caller.
Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, how you doing?
Good. How are
Hey, how
you?
you guys doing?
Who's calling in?
Oh, fantastic. Lorenzo from Cleveland.
Hey, Lorenzo. What's going on,
What you
sir?
guys got going? What you guys got going on today?
We have a pilot podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
So,
talking about extraterrestrials?
no.
Not them kind of pilots.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, brother? What you got on your mind, man? You want to run by us?
Hey, well, hey, I'm open for all things. But what's been eating me for the last several years is why do impoverished or minority people keep participating in celebrations that don't add to the benefit of their well-being, such as Christmas, Halloween. You can go all the way down the line up into Juneteenth and the July 4th. One of the things that is really mind-boggling is black people keep participating in July the 4th as though it was something that was initiated on their behalf. You wasn't even free in 1776. So what
It wasn't our Independence Day.
Right, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely
saying?
not. Yeah,
So
that.
you're celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you're celebrating something. You're celebrating something that has nothing to do with you in the real scheme of things.
Facts.
And so you're partying like we're celebrating our independence. Who is ours? Who is the OW? Who is the OUR?
Right.
Who is ours?
Right.
All right. You
It
want
had
to take
nothing
this
to do
one,
with you.
Tacoma, or you want me to?
You can start off if you want.
Well, no,
Feel free.
No, I was just saying.
But why? Why do African Americans keep doing that? Well, first of all, we are programmed, right? We're programmed a particular way, and we don't take the time, probably because we're not taught, but we don't take the time to think about that which is set before us.
Facts.
Somebody fixes a plate, sits it before you, tells you to eat, you just start eating. You don't
Yeah.
question who cooked it, was their kitchen clean, do they wash their hands, none of that. You just, it's in front of you, so you just partake of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that obviously we know culturally we have an extremely long way to go.
Yeah, talk about it.
An extremely long way to go. However, some folks are waking up, and that term woke, that just, I don't know, that makes me cringe a little bit. But the idea behind it, fine. But that, nevertheless, let's get back on track. And so we are not taught to question things. Because if we think about our history and we go all the way back, you better not ask master a question.
Facts.
Not ask a question. So we are programmed almost just to do what you're told or do what you see is happening. Just blend in and just do it.
Yeah.
And then, it's no secret that we like to have a good time.
We like to party.
We like to party,
Man,
right? We
yes.
like to party. Yeah,
We
we
like
like
to
to party,
party.
right? Yeah, we do. And so any excuse that we can find, unfortunately, we will do it. We will partake of these celebrations and we won't think twice about what they actually mean. We just use it as an excuse to have a good time.
Yeah.
Use an excuse
But
to go ahead.
Yeah, but you know how it is when most modern day minority people say, man, if I was living in 1555, I would have never did that.
Man.
If I was living in this time, I would have never been a servant.
know what they would have done.
Look, I just had this conversation with my cousin. He was like, man, I couldn't have been no slave. I don't know what I would have been doing. I'm like, nigga, picking cotton.
Exactly,
like the rest
everybody
of us.
else.
You put that whip
You
on
see
your
what I'm
ass, it
saying?
ain't gonna matter.
Right.
right.
No, I wouldn't have did that, man. I wouldn't have been.
Like,
Now,
yeah.
here's
You would've.
2020. It's 2021,
And you're still
and you're still complicit in an endeavor that does not benefit you, and that's what slavery was all about. It was an endeavor that didn't benefit the people that was, the main players. And
Right.
so we being the main players now, we're not benefiting from celebrating
But
July 4th. Really not having.
Doing nothing has always been easier than doing something. And in these situations, a holiday, it's like, well, it's a day off from work. I'm a
Right.
turn up. I don't, I'm not,
That's right.
I don't even, most folks don't even care about the history. Like people don't know the history behind MLK Day or Juneteenth or even Black History Month. They just, well, we're going to celebrate it. It's something to
blindly.
celebrate. Yeah.
We blindly do
Right.
things.
Right. We say, well, man, the white man gave us the shortest month and with the shortest days. Hold up. No, Carter G. Woodson gave you
Right.
February to
Facts.
celebrate.
Hey.
There's no white man give you nothing.
Caller,
You know what I'm saying?
who is this? And if you got anybody you want to shout out, shout them out.
Oh no, this is Lorenzo. I'll just shout out any woke person that's trying to get on the main line. Yeah.
Yeah, no, appreciate you calling, man. Make
Lorenzo,
sure-
thank you for calling
Okay.
in. We
Appreciate
appreciate your point of view.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Hey,
you.
keep up the good work, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Activating these sleepy minds. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Take care.
That's two back to back. Look at you, Miss
Right.
Popular.
Okay. Phone calls.
Right?
Yeah, that was some thought provoking.
Yeah.
That was a thought provoking call with which.
But I think the powers that be know that. And that's why it's easier, instead of giving us really change or equality, they'll give us a holiday.
Give us a holiday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we talked about this maybe a little bit
Mm-hmm.
last week. Right. Some folks get laws passed and other folks get holidays.
Yeah.
But
it's real slave masterish. Let's get these
very
niggas
much.
another day off.
Yeah. And we don't really question it. We don't, some of us are kind of like, this is too close to a law being passed and we're still getting killed in the middle of the street. But hey, it's a holiday.
Yeah.
And like I said the other day, I mean, we got Memorial Day. We have 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
The niggas need something to be able to do in between that time.
Yeah, we did.
Let's give them Juneteenth. Yes. I
For
mean,
real.
you know, and it's shameful that we don't think more about these things.
And we got to quit jumping on it so quick because it's easy for them. It's
Right.
easy for us. Like,
Right.
it's like, no, we holding out for the real change
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. But we get so complacent with any sort of small change, any
Yeah.
little thing that we see that is on the track to betterment.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay, all right, and then you know they see that and they just okay.
I thought we had
They're
a chance.
quiet now.
I thought we had a chance in 2020 with George Floyd. Right. The world was moving. White folks was taking accountability.
Yes.
That I've never heard. I'm like,
Yes,
what? White privilege and
absolutely.
acknowledge it. I'm like, oh. And I kind of feel like we let it go to the wayside. I feel like
did.
we've lost our momentum. We had it.
Absolutely. I mean, after the verdict and after the sentencing, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like a excuse the pun. It's like a dead subject. You don't, you know, we're not as angry
Yeah.
anymore. And we know that we're pretty forgiving. You would have to be forgiving to go through the history that we've gone through and not completely destroy this
Oh,
country
we-
and destroy the people who run it.
Black people have been extremely well behaved considering our history.
Extremely well behaved, extremely. But you know, it's time. It's been time. Time is absolutely up to be complacent and complicit in the things that are going on.
Facts.
For sure, for sure. And we need to talk more. You know, we need to talk more about it. We need to talk to the younger set about it. One thing I've noticed though, these millennials, they're something else. My children are absolutely will speak their mind, and they do not care how you feel about it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see these young people as, you know, full-grown adults. But honestly, we need to start these conversations, and
Yeah.
we need to let folks know.
And that's
that-
like the older people. Anybody like over 30, like it's not about us anymore. It's
Right.
about getting the next generation together. Like live your life, have fun, you know, be you and hot girl summer, all that. But you know, like we got to pass some stuff down, and we're like the only culture who doesn't really think about the collective. Like, you know what, we need to get this information to everybody.
Right, right. We are still very much divided amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, very much divided. So again, thank you, Lorenzo, for this thought-provoking
Yeah.
call.
For real.
All right, Crazy T.
Yes.
So, you have any questions for me?
Yes. What speaking background do you have that made you feel confident in doing podcast?
No formal training, I would have to say. I mean, yeah, I took a course here and there in college, but there is no degree saying that, you know, I graduated from anybody's school of broadcasting or any such sort of thing. It really is just the fact that as I've grown as a person and as I have gotten more comfortable with myself and with the knowledge that I have attained, I feel the need to disseminate that information to other people.
Yeah.
Now, what sort of got me going
Google it.
on the
Sorry, go ahead.
what got me going on the path, I would honestly have to admit, church. You know, in my younger days, I was thrown onto the welcoming committee and super shy by nature. So I was like, okay, how am I going to pull this off? Get up in front of this congregation every single Sunday and welcome strangers. Like, how am I going to do that? So took a couple courses, and you know how church will just thrust you into things whether you're ready or not.
Right.
So I was doing that, and that went well. That was cool. That was fine. And then other opportunities presented themselves in terms of working with the hospital. And not actually working with the hospital, but sort of being asked by the hospital to share some stories and share some things that happened to me. And then that birthed me being a sort of consultant with a biopharmaceutical company and traveling around the country and with speaking engagements.
Yeah.
So it was myself paired with a physician, and we would present information.
And look, you should just say speaking engagements. Like you be talking in front of like 1,000 people, man.
Well, I mean, there has been an occasion or so where I have spoken at sales meetings where there's been, you know, it's been several people, many people. And I don't know, it's just if I know what I'm talking about, I'm comfortable.
Well, let me ask you, is there a
Yes.
difference between talking in front of a large crowd or a small crowd for you?
For me, no.
Okay.
No, not really. Not really. Because when you know what you know, it doesn't really matter if it's one person or it's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And for me, I always get nervous right before. Like
Yeah.
I'm nervous initially, and then when it's time to do it, then I'm pretty much okay.
It's like, wait, okay to be, I think it's okay to be nervous, like have like that game
so.
time jitters.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for me, smaller crowds are harder.
Really?
Just because maybe because I'm doing comedy and I feel like the law of numbers. So if a larger crowd, I have a better chance of affecting more people.
Got it.
Whereas if it's like 3 people, it's like, what, y'all don't like this?
Right.
Who else is here? Janitor. I know you see it. Like
Right. When I get up before people, I'm giving you hard and fast facts.
Yeah.
So how are you going to argue with me? They're either facts or my personal experience.
Yeah.
So you can't really
Can't argue with the
refute.
facts,
You
yeah.
can't refute what I'm saying. You just sit there and listen. And the audience typically is coming because they want to gain the knowledge,
Yeah.
of what I have to say. But this is like, the musings of Tacoma.
I'm presenting my thoughts and information.
Yeah, I'm turning myself inside out and being vulnerable
I'm
here.
an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
And I say that all the time. All the time. It's true.
Yeah.
Really, it's true. And also even accepting the term artist.
Yeah.
Like for me that was a thing because I felt like I would compare myself to other people. And other people being friends of mine. I think of a particular friend who, to me, is an incredible artist and has, he works with different mediums and just has so much art out there. And he's really taking off, and he'll be on the show. But
Okay.
I would compare myself to him and say, how can you say that you're an artist when all you do are, little things that you hang around your house? But then I began to sort of turn inward and look at what I'm doing and say, but no, you're creative. Like you are creative and you produce things and you pull from inside and, get it out of you. And it's art, whether somebody else besides you likes it or not.
Facts.
It's art. And so, of course, most artists aren't appreciated till they're dead anyway.
Right.
But no, so I've recently, in the recent, I guess, past few years, begun to accept that title for myself and use it proudly because I am.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of this, man. Like, I'll consider myself an artist, but my art is words.
Yes.
So I'm good at poetry,
Wordsmith.
lectures, wordsmith,
Yes,
talk about it.
yes.
But it's art too, though. It's like, what do you do to put into it? People be like, podcast, oh, I can talk and laugh and create. It's like, maybe you can't. Just
Right.
just because it's important to you doesn't make it interesting.
That is true. That's very true.
But people don't get the art of it. It's like, no, I'm just gonna talk it's like, no, man, put some nuance. How can you make this unique thoughts you have relatable to everyone else?
Exactly.
That's the art of it.
Exactly. That's absolutely correct. And so this is what I am attempting to do here, right? Is sort of expose myself and, but do it in such a way that other people are like, you know what? No, I feel her. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that. And they want to tune in week after week and listen to the different things I have to say and listen to my perspective or call in and challenge me even.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, I'm in favor of any woman exposing herself. So
you know
you
what?
go ahead
See, here
and
you go,
be
Mr.
yourself.
Comedian, right. There will be no exposure of flesh.
This is a children's
Thank
show.
you,
This is
right?
a children's show. We gotta be careful.
PG.
Yes.
Keeping it. Goodness. But no.
Well, I
really.
just got here.
Oh, Goldie Montel, look,
Goldie?
asking you shall receive, baby.
What?
No,
What?
No, because she asked you to be on her show. I was like, see,
See, I always just walk into some weird shit.
oh, nothing weird.
Anyway, how everybody doing?
Doing
good.
well. Doing really
I meant
well.
to be here early. I've been back here toying with the technicalities and getting you together.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your
We're
expertise.
radio looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, Goldie got our video looking tight now, man.
Thank you, Goldie. I
I
appreciate
tried
it.
my best, audience. You know what I'm saying? Don't blame it on Tacoma.
did
Blame
your
it on me.
You did what you could do. Ain't nobody asked you to do but your best.
That's
right,
right.
feel me?
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So anyway, I was listening for a few minutes. I like the vibe.
Thank you,
I like the
Goldie.
feeling. I can see where we can add this and maybe add that to it and make it a little more spicy. I like this. I like the concept. I like to hear a woman's that can articulate point of view.
Thank you.
And look, we
And
didn't
she
even
got
get
to be
past
able to. She knows, but a woman on the radio had to be able to understand different perspectives: the street side, the corporate side, and everything in between. And I think she gonna be able to handle it.
No, absolutely.
Thank
And look, we
you,
ain't even got to her topic yet. It's just the intro. I'm waiting to
Right,
see
exactly,
what she got for
right.
us.
Exactly.
Well,
Well,
what's
Goldie,
the topic?
thank
I'm here with y'all. I'm gonna ride with you for a minute.
Thank you so much for coming
sure
on. I
everything
appreciate that.
I'm gonna try not to smoke or eat on the mic.
It's lying.
So, when we're talking about me and who I am, it sort of took me a little bit to, I think, own who I am. First of all, it takes a minute to grow into who you are and know
Facts.
who that person is, right? And then you sort of examine those things. That's what I did for myself. Sort of took a look at who I had been up to a particular point, and do you like how you've been going about things? So I've always liked me, but maybe I didn't quite like how I was going about things, or I didn't
And sometimes you got to get
necessarily
that aha moment, like,
do.
oh,
So
this
let
is
me-
not right.
do.
Let me ask you
You
some real people facts, like the stuff people really want to know. Like, what is that noise? Oh, I can hear it. I know what that is. So anyway, what? So what's your sign? First of all, we're gonna ask the regular stuff because people want to know these regular questions.
I'm a Taurus.
She's a Taurus.
Yes.
Are you single, married, complicated?
I'm single.
She's single. What's your educational background?
Some college. I feel like I'm filling out an application.
It's like a death certificate.
Right.
Would you consider yourself to have a natural smartness or intuition?
Yes, I would say that.
Okay. As we go, I'm gonna start remembering. It's a few real questions. Like people really want to know certain things because that's how they build your profile in their mind. You know, don't let them judge a book by its cover. Let them get to know you, and I swear they're gonna love you. We are radio. We got some great listeners. A lot of people who listen to our podcast. They
We
really
Are Radio?
good people that I know of personally, and for them to even be captivated this long shows me that they like the vibe. You know what I mean?
Awesome. That makes me feel good. It really makes me
Now
feel
she
good.
got a whole notebook here. You ain't got to let her get through
this
that.
is we up. We trying to keep you up, spirits and everything.
Right, and that's really that's where
Real
I'm coming
energy.
from. Coming from a positive point of view, you know, just trying to uplift not just myself but other people that I come in contact with.
Absolutely.
Whether I'm talking to you over the podcast or whether I'm talking to you in person, you know, I want to make sure that I leave you feeling good.
Good energy.
If you can
Yeah.
describe
Good.
yourself in less than 3 words, how would you describe yourself?
Less than 3 words.
Yeah.
So if I could describe
Did
myself,
she get 3 or 2 words?
in
What she get
2
to go?
words.
She get 3 words.
3 words. Okay, you get 3 words.
I get 3 words.
Yeah.
All right. I would describe myself as a.
Or you can make it like you can use the 3 words as a phrase, like hell of a woman.
I mean that too. That goes without
But
saying.
I'm saying describe yourself in 3 words or less.
I would say. What would I say? Positive.
Positive.
I would say. Natural. Natural is a word
Yeah.
that
Natural.
describes, but that takes a little more
Natural or nothing?
explanation. But what'd you say?
Natural or nothing. My daughter got a little, well, not a little, I don't mean to say that. My daughter got a product company where she do body scrubs, lip gloss, all that stuff. And it's called Nita Naturals.
Okay.
And I've been toying around with slogans with her, and one of them was natural or nothing.
Natural or nothing. I like it.
It's like butt naked. I like it.
Right.
No, it's like a little tough.
See-
Natural
female-
and
I
nothing.
think it's
That's
a
what I
little
like.
tough female slogan. We be like, it's natural or nothing.
Yeah, that's good. That's
See,
good.
my first one was hood.
That's
She laughed at me when I said my first one. My first slogan was "It's natural, nigga."
Oh no!
They said,
No,
"Don't
no,
use
no.
that. Don't use
No,
that."
Don't use that. Don't use that.
So Tacoma, you got
yes.
like 4 pages of stuff written down,
I know
man.
I have a bunch of stuff, and we have to
into?
get through it, right? So really, again, going back, talking about discovering who you are and owning who you are, and discovering who I am and owning who I am. And so for the longest time, I think for me, I focused on what other people sort of focused on, and I focused more on sort of the shell
Respect.
of who I am.
Yeah, no, probably like in my mid-30s where I got to going from doing what I thought I was supposed to do versus to living my truth.
Right.
And it was tough. It was like, man, like this is crazy. I'm like, that's where the name Crazy T came from. It was like, no, it's not crazy. You just ain't thought of it before. But I know what works for me.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so
And there's
yeah.
a metamorphosis that happens
Metamorphosis.
or you would hope that it would, because some people are who they've always been, and they are never trying to change. They're never
Yeah.
trying to elevate. They just, are stuck in a particular
Look,
place.
some people don't want to grow.
They don't.
I'm just now learning that. I'm like, oh man, you could do this. All you gotta do is blah blah blah. And they're
Right.
like, it's
They're
too
like,
hard. No.
Right. Some people that have that are able to, able-bodied, can do it, have never left the state.
Yeah,
They're just
right.
kind of like, well,
Yeah.
this is where I am. And and that's just, I think, a physical manifestation of the sort of confines they have in their minds.
Yeah.
Because anything we have on the inside manifests itself
On
physically.
the outside. That's deep.
Absolutely.
I heard
Yeah.
that before.
And you know,
Oh, that's
people will
absolute
do what
truth.
like makes them safe though. Like I know people who are like the man on Kinsman, just you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like a king.
Yeah.
And then they get someplace, go pepper pike around some white folks, and they shrink.
Yes.
They turn.
I think it's
because it's not what they're familiar with.
I
and
think it's because
different.
we got like an image of ourselves and an image that we have to portray as defense mechanisms.
True.
Like in the world, you might like in the streets, you got to be this tough guy, and you got to always be on your grind. But then you move the family to Pepper Pike somewhere, and you can finally sleep with the door unlocked. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe you could
It's-
answer this for me, Goldie, because I got a question. Like,
What's that?
how can you know what I'm saying, like be super confident when your life is on the line, right? Like in the streets type situation.
That's when you got to be the most confident.
Right. But then you get around. Then some people get around white folks, or something less familiar, and like their confidence will shrink. It's like, man, you survived
They intimidate.
murder.
Because it's, right,
No,
exactly.
but we as
Intimidation.
people, we be intimidated by people's knowledge in a certain area that it applies. Like if you a chef, I walk in the kitchen, my cooking knowledge is in question. Like
Okay, respect, yeah.
my
Right.
cooking knowledge is like, but when I'm at the house, I'm the best chef in the house.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Right.
it's called being humble, and that's why I tell people, humble somebody with your success. Don't go out and do stuff in spite of and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you become successful, it's people who talked about you who gonna have to humble themselves in your presence if they want to even succeed in your lane. Because
They-
when you got it, you got it.
You do. I think for me, what I learned to do was focus less on other people and take all of that focus and any of that focus and put it onto myself.
Facts.
Because if I just, you could spend your entire life trying to please even just one somebody, but just
Right.
imagine trying to please everyone that you come into contact with. That's impossible.
Impossible.
You cannot do that.
It'll make you crazy if you try.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea, as much as I think I am. No, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Nice cup.
Nobody.
What's that, hibiscus?
Is for,
Hibiscus
right,
cherry?
which is my favorite. But honestly, and so you have to stop focusing on other folks and what other folks want, and looking at yourself and what drives you, what motivates you, what makes you happy, what makes you vibrate at a higher level. Which
See, that's
is
a dope
really
ass. That's a
huge-
dope comment because I'll be trying to explain to people how I believe that we all on frequencies and vibrations and energy that changes because it's certain stuff that's unexplainable. Okay, we call it God, but it's still an energy. It's still a force,
still
however
energy.
you want to write.
Everything vibrates at a frequency. Everything has a frequency. And so what I've begun to do for quite a little while is to make sure that I am surrounding myself with things that keep my vibration on a higher level.
Yeah.
So, and that's not to say that I don't joke and kid or consume alcohol or do different things. I do, because I'm human, and so I do things that I enjoy doing. However, as a general rule and as a whole, my aim is to make sure that I am vibrating up here and not,
course.
on a basal level.
You ever
Because there
took
are
two tuning forks and put them together while they was vibrating, and they wasn't on the same thing? Cling, 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 cling.
yeah.
But people say vibrations. I like vibrations, right? But I prefer frequency. You know what I mean? Like first
Yeah.
off, like
Frequency is
like,
the same thing.
Well, not necessarily. Like first off, frequency. Like what are you tuned into?
But things vibrate at a particular
no,
frequency.
No,
Yeah.
they do, but I'm saying I like the word frequency because it works two ways. It's like
you just like
what
the
do you
word.
But I'm saying
Okay,
it's like
we're
what
gonna go
you
with that.
tuned into, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also like what do you do with frequency? You know what I'm saying? Like
You
are you?
tune-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
like-
so
like,
you're
are
using the
you-
word
There's only
frequency.
two
Yeah, like are you
Okay.
taking care of your kids with frequency,
Okay,
or are
got
you
you.
doing
Got
crack
you.
with frequency?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I like
Right.
You're
like
talking
both
about
ways.
the
I like
other
it. I
word,
like
the
it.
other
I like it.
definition of frequency.
Exactly.
I think they both work though. Like people say vibe, but it's like
I mean,
with
if
a
you
person.
reach hard enough, you can make just about anything.
I mean, no, you're
work.
Not even a reach though.
I
I'm
like
just
that.
saying like it's like I want to know what you
No.
tuned into and what
Right.
do you do most often.
But that's also the thing, and that's part of the reason why I have a whole ritual that I do in the morning before I get my day
to
started,
make
because
you
I have
say.
to do it with frequency, right? To make sure
Right.
that my frequency vibrates up here and
Right.
that it's not
I
down
get what
here.
you're saying.
And so I feel you that makes sense. I kind of
I
like it.
guess.
But yeah, vibrations. So there are particular things that,
I feel
will
like
make you vibrate on a super, super low level.
They will.
And those are things that I attempt to
you asked the question. You
keep
said,
myself away
"What
from.
do you do with frequency?" Is that the question you asked?
Now, what do you do with frequency? Like,
Okay.
like
what
do you smoke
do?
weed
Okay,
frequently?
I get it now. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Because I'm
So
thinking
how
it's only
often?
two things you can do with frequency. You could tune in or tune out.
Yeah.
And so
And how often do
when,
you
I,
do that?
How often do you
when
do it?
people have frequencies that match your frequency, it's like you almost innately want to tune in. You almost innately want to get away from them. Some people, you never met nobody you just don't like and don't know why you don't like them.
Oh,
It's just
absolutely,
something
but
about them that just didn't rub you right. They on a not bad one, but a different frequency than you.
But hold up, I done met people that I liked and enjoyed, but the stuff they do with frequency
Yes.
messed us up. It was like, man, you can't stop, sucking dick or smoking crack or whatever. Like, your habits are bad for our
No,
relationship.
but
you
right.
know?
Correct.
Somebody
yeah,
saved
there
this.
are people that you definitely there are some people I have come in contact with and could not stand them on sight.
Right.
And I'm not that person who just, dislikes people for no
Facts.
reason.
Yeah.
And I used to not understand it. I understand it now. There are also some people that I like because I have fun with them or, they're cool, but maybe they're constantly negative or
see,
maybe they
I got like
drink
ways.
too much or cuss too much or, and those
Yeah.
are just
I
things
got,
that
you
I
ever
can't
had stuff you
keep
just
around.
know? You don't know why you know it. Nobody ever taught it to you. You just know it.
Mm-hmm.
See, I believe that when I meet certain people, the ones that I don't like and don't know why I don't like them,
Mm-hmm.
it's because they remind me of somebody who gave me that frequency they own.
Potentially so, or you're
And
just
so I learned-
recognizing that
right,
that
that's-
frequency.
I'm recognizing
as
that
being
frequency.
low. Absolutely.
And I don't
And
want nothing to do with it.
Even if you never came in contact with it before,
Right.
if you're in tune enough with a higher frequency, then you know what a lower one is.
Facts.
And so, you know how to stay away from that and how to put yourself in position to vibrate on a higher level. And so that's the aim, right? That's the aim for me. That's the aim that I instill in my children. And we all want particular things. There's all things that we want, whether they're people in our lives or physical things, cars, houses, whatever. There's all things that we want. There's things that we've sat and dreamed about and
Right.
said, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. And the moment that you begin to think those things can be a reality for you. They absolutely can. Those things can manifest for you. But your thought is on a particular frequency and those things are on a particular frequency. And what you need to make sure is that the vibrations match up.
Facts.
And once the vibrations match up or the frequencies match up, then you will find that thing physically manifested in front of you. So until it, if you've been, this, I'm thinking about this, I know I can get it, I want it, I know I can do it, I know. Well, it's there, but you can't realize it, so to speak, until you get in tune with where it actually is.
Do you think frequencies can be like geographical, like meaning, how they say you're looking for love in all the wrong places because you're in places where people that's not on your frequency gather?
That's
Often.
funny you say that because I did have somebody say that to me several months ago, and I had never considered that. We were talking about Cleveland and sort of the lack of opportunity for females to find a suitable mate. And this was a man who was talking to me who's from another place and wasn't even suggesting the place that he's from is the place, but was saying that I think it's something about certain areas, and there are just certain areas where people are just not, and he didn't use the particular words, frequency or vibration. I don't know if he, thought maybe I think he was weird or something, which I absolutely didn't. But now that's definitely a consideration. I think that we look at the polls. There are things that come out in the paper that say that Cleveland is one of the most stressed cities, one of the most impoverished cities, one of the all of these things.
Anytime you see some of the news, it's always some bullshit.
It's something.
So,
It's
that's
something
us.
negative, and so that's not by happenstance. that's not by. There is a thing going on, and that's often why people find themselves not here, because they need to get out of the sort of humdrum doldrums that a particular place may have, and they need to get somewhere else where where people are vibrating on the same level in mass.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna be. Not everybody in Cleveland is down in the dumps.
Everybody loves to be around they people.
Yeah, and
You feel like
sometimes, but
I'm not
yeah.
even talking about blood relation. I'm talking about just the people that's like you. Like these my people.
Yeah, it
When
makes
you in
you
that
comfortable.
that frequency, it hit different then.
That makes you comfortable, absolutely. And I think there ought to be more discussions about that, though, because being around your people is cool, but what if your people are not doing things that elevate you? What if your
Facts.
people are not doing things that
What
elevate
if they
themselves?
vibrating on a wrong or different
And,
frequency
right.
now?
Usually you see it when you're
Right.
trying to do something different, man. Like you try to elevate or even go bad. Like people will, why aren't you in this box? I know that I'm comfortable with you in.
Yeah, because this is who you always
This is who
were.
you always were. And
Yeah.
it's like, man,
Right.
what you want to go be better for, nigga? We down here. What about
Right.
us? What we gonna do?
Absolutely. And they
man.
start looking at you crazy because you're doing things differently
Yeah.
than you ever used to. But that's because you're realizing who you are, or perhaps where you're trying to get to, where you
Yeah.
want to be. And the trick to that is you really can't care. You have to care more about what is feeding you and what's elevating you.
I could do more for you if I take this gift and go as far as I can.
Right.
Then
Than if I just stay down here and
Yeah.
keep doing the same old, which hasn't gotten us anywhere in 5 generations.
But what you want to work so hard for? You want to be like the white man? Why you working so hard?
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, there are certainly plenty of people in my life. Well, I won't say plenty now, but people in my life who think that my crystals and my sage and my all that stuff is a little off the beaten path, because it's not always who I was.
Yeah.
At least not outwardly. It wasn't who I was. It was things I'd always thought about, but nothing I'd ever really practiced. And so then when I started doing particular things, and it's kind of like, okay, what's she doing now?
It's like
It's
you
almost like
tuning
witchcraft.
yourself.
And they're like, oh,
Well-
she's brand new. Well, no, and I like to say, no, I'm absolutely not brand new, but what I'm being now is a better version of the person that I was before. Because I've always liked who I was, but you can always be better.
That's
right?
all it
you can,
is.
You can always do better. You can always be better. And
Me and Ron was
whatever-
just talking about that. If you
Yeah.
do 5 push-ups today, do 6 push-ups tomorrow.
Exactly.
Just be better.
And be better. That's right. Be better. Because we can be. And why wouldn't you want to be? Why wouldn't you want to be at, the top of what it is that you can do? And not even comparing yourself with anybody else, but you can compare you to you.
Yeah.
Compare your ability from 2 days ago to your ability 2 days from now. What is that? What does that look like?
What I've noticed, like I've from people I've seen, and even myself, man, like people will take their talents and time and invest it into the appearance.
Yes.
They'll invest into the costume of having it together.
Yeah.
And it's like a little more effort. You could have it. You could have
Yeah,
it together. But it's
right.
like, nah, I want to look like it and not have to work that hard.
Exactly.
And it's
True.
like, man,
Right.
like
They want the merits but don't want to put in the work. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want the credentials and don't want to put in the work. They would rather download a paper and send it in like it's theirs instead of just doing the research
Absolutely.
and learning the actual proper work. Then when you're in the work world or in the productive society, you can't produce right and you look like a fool.
man, I've been talking about my book for about 5 years.
What is
I
it
love
called?
telling people the arrogance of women.
Okay.
I love telling people about my book. I ain't put pen to paper in 5 years, but I love telling people I got a book coming out.
Well, it's time to start.
It's
So
time-
you do in fact have a book coming out.
I
You
think
do.
I think it's gonna end up just being part of my stand-up act. You know what I mean? Instead of writing it
But-
down.
No, I don't think so.
I actually wrote a book and didn't finish it because I couldn't figure. It was a horror story.
What was your book?
Horror story.
It's called a Bando, but it's a horror story about a killer. But I can't figure out what he doing with the bodies. That's original.
You got the location. That's half the battle.
Oh, I got a dope little book though. I'll let you read it one day where I'm at. You're gonna be mad when you get to the end.
You
where
have
I-
to finish that book, Goldie. You have to finish
I'm
that.
gonna try.
Now, I'm
to.
gonna do my book too. I know. I hear what you're saying.
Yes, and that's another thing. So we laugh and joke and kiki about things, and we say things, and we don't recognize honestly how much power our words really do have, because our words use and and we can take it to the Bible, we can take it outside of the Bible. Fact is fact. when you speak, that's vibration, right? You can put your hand to your throat and feel that it's vibration. So we know that that's, that's coming out. There's a particular frequency, but you're putting that out there. And even if you're joking, the universe doesn't know that you're joking when you say, I'm never going to do blah, blah, blah. It doesn't. Okay. You said you're never going to do it.
Right.
So that's what it's going to give you back. It's not going to give you anything back if you don't. It's giving you what you put out. So we have to be very intentional and very particular and very careful with the things that we say and with the things that we do, with the way that we act, because those are the things that are coming back.
Yeah.
And it just is fact. I mean, the law of the
definitely
universe is
believe
that
in
it
that.
gives you, and people would, if you're in church, they would say, they would say universe too, but God. You're not gonna, he's not gonna put anything out there. Nothing's gonna come back to him void, right?
Right.
It's the same way because that's the universal law. So whatever we put out there, we're going to get it back. So you
Can
want
I
to be
ask you
very
this?
careful that you put
Go
positive
ahead.
things out.
Can
Yes,
I,
Goldie.
Can I ask you this in the vein
Absolutely.
of the conversation? Because I believe, like when I DJ, I feel like everybody got jumper cables connected to me. Because when I'm going, it's like I'm bright. I can feel myself get stronger and get lighter, the whole nine. And I feel like they all be connected to me, especially when everybody dancing. It's a big crowded club. So, well, my question is, do you believe that certain people were born as bigger frequency generators than other people? Meaning, like, I think like Michael Jackson might have had like an unlimited supply of energy because when he performed, everybody connected to him. You feel what I'm saying?
What I feel is that some people are more innately connected to or in tune with that energy, and they're in tune with what propels them to be whoever it is that they are, with the greatness that lies within. Because greatness is not specific to one person or just
Right.
one type of individual, but only some folks are tapped in to the greatness within them. And if you're not
Facts.
tapped into it, then you're never going to realize it. But this man had an incredible amount of talent that he was in fact tuned into. And Joe was whooping his behind. And so, no, but really, he was in tune with that thing. Obviously we will never know how he thought about that, but it's extremely clear.
I think it's got to be like the anti-Michael out. Somebody with like the same amount of negative energy who puts it out into the world. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
just hate and anger
Absolutely.
and jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we
That's
encounter
actually
people
deep,
like
'cause
that every day.
Yeah.
There's people that's
Every day.
popular in the world and rich, and it's also people who hate it in the world and rich. You feel what I'm saying? Like people either gonna gravitate to positive or the negative frequency.
Well,
Like-
yeah, everything has a polarity. Everything has an opposite. And so for all the good, there is bad, and
Even with the bad, we cancel people every day in this culture.
yes, it's very
So
much
and we
somebody-
shouldn't as black folks. We shouldn't cancel. But I'm
No,
with you.
this is my
I'm with
point
you.
is that people get canceled every day. But then it's these bad people who you don't like to death. Like you be like, oh, we just get hit by a truck, but they be popular. They never get canceled. And they say the most heinous stuff. You know why they don't get canceled? Because they was like that from the beginning.
Yeah.
You feel me? You
They
never
were
changed your truth. You've been like, we either loved you or hate you for who you really were. And them the type of people I like.
Well, let's take, for example, and let's talk about that a little bit in terms of people that are maybe not the most liked people. So take rappers. I don't know. We can take Tupac. We can take NWA. We can take rappers back in the day who were extremely controversial, because old school rap, they definitely weren't doing the
was
things.
brutal
It was
back
it was,
then.
it was
Yeah.
brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And so they had lots of fights that they had to fight about, labels, the parental advisory labels being on things. And so there's all this attention given, constant attention. Well, people are constantly paying attention, whether it's for the positive side of things, whether it's for the negative side of things.
Yeah.
Sales skyrocket, the fame skyrockets, because energy is being put into that thing. It doesn't really matter whether it's good or bad. It's going. It's going
yeah.
to that thing. It's going, and so that thing is blowing up because it's being recognized on both sides of the coin. It's being recognized on the good side and on the bad side. And so it's just getting larger than life. And the people, who are trying to stifle it are pissed, and they can't figure out why this thing is blowing up, because even all your negative attention is still attention.
Why do
and still
people
energy.
like this? This is terrible.
Yeah. Well, let me see why. People are hearing this. Well, what's so wrong about it? Let me find out. And so you're just drawing more, and they're creating more and more energy, and the more they get, the bigger it gets, and the bigger it grows. And so it can grow for the good, it can grow for the bad, just obviously depending on what that thing is. And so, but yeah, that we definitely have to be careful with our energy with our word energy distribution.
Yeah, I've been working on not giving my energy to nothing I don't believe in. I don't know if you can make a price amount to it, but it's man, I've given so much energy to shit that ended up being bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's why am I? But
Right.
it could be part of it.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you can get caught up helping people to the point you neglecting yourself.
And you can be, and neglecting oneself that's never a good thing. And people question selfishness. Let's ask you. So selfish, what does that mean to you?
What is me being selfish,
a
or
person being selfish? What does that mean to you?
It's just doing what's best for you with no regard for anybody else. I don't know if me and you had this conversation, but we were talking about how people don't respect the hookup. You know what I'm saying? You'll hook somebody up, and they'll think they finessed you. He was like, yeah, I got that nigga. It was like, no, nigga, I seen you ain't had no food at lunch.
Right.
I tried to do something nice for you, but now you thinking your slick ways got you this blessing and not the kindness of my heart. You know what I mean? That's what bothers me as far as selfish. It's no, nigga, recognize the blessing when you get it. Don't be.
Do you ever see selfish in a positive way?
Yeah, I think in some ways you do have to be selfish, especially if somebody's holding you back from your potential. It's nigga, I'm.
Is that selfish though when you're doing it like that?
Yeah,
is that what
by
it be
definition.
Called?
I mean, technically, I hear what you're saying.
I think
go
selfish is when you got the power to help and don't, for no other reason but you want to hoard whatever it is for yourself. I think the word probably came from somebody fishing, and they had a fish. They had 3 fish, and people was hungry. And they said, "Oh no, these selfish. I'm keeping these for self. These are me."
Right, I need to do a different shot. That was good. No, but for real though,
you can help somebody, and it's nothing. See, this is why I say the problem be in the world. Why do I got to go over here and get form D and E when you can just put it all on your same computer and do it real quick? That you being selfish, you being narcissistic, you being withholding, all that. I just feel why do we hold each other back? Why do we be so selfish with anything? Everything you get is a blessing, because the only thing, we're not guaranteed nothing, including life.
Right.
So everything is a blessing.
I feel like most team stuff though, you got to show people the personal self benefit, and they're like, okay, I'll join the team because it'll benefit me personally.
Yeah, in this manner. This is how this is going to benefit me, and this is the reason why I'm doing it. I think that selfishness, when I think of selfish, I think of, and obviously, Goldie, yes, that what you were talking about, absolutely valid. Not that you need me to lend any validity to it, but yes, absolutely it is. But when I talk about being selfish, that is sort of not forsaking yourself and making sure that you are caring for yourself and that you are in tune with yourself, not to the detriment of yourself, but not giving out too much in the effort to make sure that you're building yourself up. So it's okay in a sense, but people take things to the extreme. But in a sense, it is okay, in my opinion, to be selfish, because you have to take time out to deal with you.
Yeah.
You absolutely do.
I agree with what you're saying.
Selfish though?
But I agree with what you're saying, because it's if you're not, they make it seem like if you're not selfish, then you have to be selfless. And it's no, it's a lot of space in between giving all that shit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I'm done. That was it.
And somewhere in the Bible will say a broken pitchers can't pour no blessings. If your pitcher got a hole in it, how I'm going to pour into your cup? I'm leaking. So self-preservation is me with no help maintaining the pitcher. You feel what I'm saying? Like some people blessed to have a significant other to help them with the load, like provide them with certain perks for being in a relationship, like cooking, cleaning, helping, whatever. Those people are blessed by that because that person is helping them keep their picture together so they can continue to pour out blessings. Now, what's selfish is when your picture is perfectly fine. You have a full picture and some extra tanks of blessings over here you can dip the picture in, and you still not handing out blessings.
Yeah, that's absolutely selfish.
That's selfish.
That's definitely selfish.
Because you can help, if you can help a situation, why not help it?
That's definitely selfish. Yeah.
Why
No
not?
question. No question
If you
about
can't
that.
think of a valid reason why not to help another human being, that's selfish. If you don't have a valid reason,
Most people don't want to. Like,
that's selfish.
I got to get mine. You got to get yours. I got to get mine.
Textbook
You got to
definition
get
selfish
yours.
right there.
Right. Right.
That's selfish because, like, if you on the side of the road and you need a tire, and I know this is a dead end road where the next car might not come for an hour, I can't just leave you without at least asking you, do you got AAA? Something. I gotta ask you some question. I want to
Right.
make sure you all right. That's just me as a person because I've been there before where people will write,
And so,
Right.
so Goldie, my challenge would be to, because you were talking about, selfish and the acts of selfish people. How would you then, and I'm not asking you to answer that now, but maybe in the next week, what sorts of things would you do to counteract or combat that selfishness? What would you say or
personally
do
to be more
What
selfless?
would you say or no, not personally to be more selfless, but to sort of, whether it be having a conversation with somebody who you recognize is being selfish, or whether it be being an example. Some people like to be an example of things so that other people can learn by their life. Some people like to sit and lecture about things. So I don't know, what type of, how you all teach things individually, but what would you do, Goldie? Again, and I'm not asking you to answer that now, but I would challenge you to put that to the test, because we can sit and talk about all day long. This podcast could go into 2 hours talking about the ills of society and the things that need to be changed, and that is in fact the absolute truth. But what do we do to affect such change? What do we do to affect said change? Because just discussing it amongst people who don't have that problem, that doesn't do any good, because we don't have the issue.
Look, I'm going to think about your answer for next week, but for grown-ups, it's hard to, like, don't do what serves your own personal interest. It's hard. I mean, I don't know how to get grown-ups to not do what they want to do.
It's a thing called moderation, though. That's the key. Moderation, moderate your selfishness. You have to help somebody, or you useless. If you're not doing anything to contribute to what it is that birthed you or created you, you're being useless to me.
Facts.
And part of the answer to what you said, Ty, about finding it hard for individuals, and a lot of that is because you first have to govern yourself. Really, all you have control of is you. All you can control is, how you think, what you say, what you do, how you act. You can't even control how other people interpret that thing.
Facts.
Right? So I think that for most anything, it really begins with minding yourself and minding the things that you do and minding what you're putting out, because that can make a world of difference. If people took the time to mind themselves, then it honestly would show other folk, because you can't sit an adult down and be like, don't you. But if you are living a particular way and you're getting particular results and you seem a particular, you have a particular thing about you, then that doesn't ever go unnoticed.
Right.
And sometimes that causes people to ask, well, what are you doing? What's different? How can I be down? Like, how can I do that?
No, Goldie, you said this like,
got a problem first.
but no, Goldie, you were saying this though, like when you're doing something good, people want to be around that positive energy. They want to be around, like the progression. They want to be around.
If I did a winter coat giveaway, I get 1 million friends from all over the city that, Goldie, you always been my friend. I've done it before, man. I've seen the fakeness in real life, but at the end of the day, I allow that. You
Yeah.
gotta allow people to be them. You might get help with the drive. You might get extra promote, but allow them to be them. But you still know that they only around for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
That's
Right
it.
now, they're around you for a reason.
Right.
After the reason has expired, don't be feeling the type of way when their presence is expired. Like,
Yeah.
they have no reason to be around you now. You know. So, I think y'all got a great perspective. We a little over time.
Are we?
Yeah, we a little past an hour.
Okay.
I just, want you to know we already are looking forward to working with you. I might not be on this mic no more. I just wanted to pop in and just endorse the show.
That's
But
right.
Thank you, Goldie.
I
I
shared it to my
appreciate
page,
that.
and I want everybody to know this is like a new chapter for We Up Radio. And I think she's going to bring some interesting point of views, guests, and just all around showmanship because she seemed to care about how the direction her show going.
And don't forget, Goldie, such a fucking lady. Such a fucking lady.
I love when
love
it's
that.
said like
She
that.
fine as fuck. Y'all can just see her little face right there. She is adorable, man.
Thank
And I'm telling you, she gonna bust y'all heads with this knowledge. So tune in
That's
and
my
check
goal.
her out.
Facts.
Yes. Goldie, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to even have a show here. I appreciate that. Crazy T, thank you, sir.
Oh, any time.
Thank you, sir, for being my valued co-host.
Of course. As long as you
For
need
my
me, I'm here.
co-host, guest, whatever, my engineer. Thank you.
I'm Bill Withers. Just use me up. Whatever you need, baby.
Yes. And this has been Tea Time with Tocomamaria. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next week.
Tell them where to find you on IG.
And you will find me at T_KNICOLE 426, T_K Nicole 426.